Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley, and we're back playing 3rd Age Total War. This is going to be a huge 2 versus 2 battle. The Realm of Men, Kingdom of Arnor here. This is going to be Warrior of Sparta, commanding one flank, and then Alex the Rambler, both are going to be Kingdom of Arnor. Facing off against them is going to be a dual alliance of evil, so one of them is going to be Lionheart playing as Isengard. He's going to be pushing forward with a big pike wall with crossbowmen, heavy uruks, and then in the back, a lot of these berserkers. I command the right flank. I have Mordor. My main column of heavy infantry in the center stands strong with these uruks, and then some orc maulers starting to push up through the center. We're starting to take fire from the catapults, but I have these heavy Ologai armored orcs, or trolls. Those guys are amazing. So I'm saving them. I'm going to be starting to push forward, just screen that entire force. My goal is to charge in through the flank. What's going on here is I have massive columns of orc raiders in loose formation just charging forward. In the mix, I have some of my own mountain trolls, not as heavily armored as the orcai, but definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now, I have my Black Numenorians here. This is going to be my general's unit, and he's trying to beat back these pesky raids from the Arnor Knights. So you can see in the distance the armies marching about, starting to posture and form up against each other, and these brave knights are trying to whittle away at my forces who are trying to execute this massive flanking maneuver. Yeah, you can see my guys kind of trying to protect my main forces as I push with this huge right wing. I mean, when have you ever seen a flanking force of this size and magnitude? So you can watch this as it comes forward. So a massive look at this is absurd. Massive push on this side, reinforced with some of my own halberdiers, like these spears. So that's pushing forward. Meanwhile, the center is showing some restraint for an orc, which is unheard of. And so they're going to be charging up through here. The Realm of Men is formed up. They have huge pike lines, stakes, and then Arnorian heavy archers pouring in the fire. And their catapults here shooting at my guys. My men are not going to charge this pike line because that's going to be suicide. They're mostly going to be held here just to contend with the enemy, fix them in place. The Uruk-hai are going to be pushing on, trying to charge up through here. Crossbowmen are going to be firing upon these positions, so this is going to be a slow push from Lionheart's perspective, but take a look at the massive flank that I was talking to you about. This is what is coming here. The men are trying to deploy some battle-ready Dunedain, shifting to try and meet my line, but just like Alexander at the Battle of Gaugamel, I continue to push right, pulling the enemy with me, so interesting to see that. And these, led by my general, here is my Alexander pushing around the flank. We are going to be greeted with some Knights of Anuminas, and these guys are very, very good, but still rank upon rank of orc raiders going to be pushing through, exploiting this gap, and now we're going to start to hit some of the men here, pin them, and start to crush through. They're going to hold steady, and my guys are not the best of units to defeat. It's a distinct possibility. But with the orcs, it's all about swarming tactics. I have huge amounts of men. The enemy forces here, the cav came back to try and strike my blob that was flanking in the rear. You can see more of them being committed here. And this is where I brought in my heavy orcs, charging through some of my own men, but that's fine. They're just there to dissuade the cavalry from doing anything, and they're kind of here to keep pushing my guys. Just numbers, huge numbers of men pushing that right flank. Everything that was held up through the front is still, kind of posturing here, but the entirety of my army is going for a right flank. And at this point, this is where Alex the Rambler is like, warrior, I'm being flanked with his entire army. So yeah, my guys are coming through here. My general and my trolls here gonna try and perhaps do a hammer and anvil in the rear, but he's turned about his entire force of archers here, knowing that he doesn't have to do much in the front, and he's going to turn about to face off my guys, and now he can look at his legions on this flank and look at my trolls just charging into the rear of this force. Massive sandwich here, so he's going to try and salvage them. Again, more of my guys are charging around the back. The clock is ticking for these guys. A lot of pressure put on through here. In the center, he's decided to push forward with his pikes, realizing that my force is just a holding force. And I'm going to pull back in the face of this. That's fine. I know that the main threat is coming here, and look at all these archers now streaming forward to try and help suppress that, and they're going to be unleashing catapults as well, just throwing everything into this mess. And my guys are still trying to get around this flank. Holy crap, this is absurd. I'm definitely committing to that, and there's no point of committing more to the center. I already have, you know, scores of men positioned here. Let's go ahead and watch what's happening on this flank. It looks like the Uruks have basically committed to a fight against these pike lines and sword lines. Volleys of archers and crossmen exchanging fire up through the top, but down through the center. These heavy orcs are through here, and it looks like some of the berserkers are in on the fight. They will definitely, yeah, and you can see they've punched a hole through here because that is just how strong those berserkers can be. So the main line here is being crushed by Lionheart with his heavy infantry and that support. Yep. Oh, and this is going to be devastating with the berserkers here. I mean, they're taking the bulk of the archer fire, but these guys have a lot of hit points. And now charged into the rear of this force, they're going to cut through these spearmen. So that is going to be, you know, the key to unlock this door, which is going to then allow these units to pour through the rear. You know, there has been some armored Arnor sergeants trying to contend with the crossbowmen lines, but these Orkai pikemen in the rear not allowing that to happen. The heavy armor of these guys allowing them to soak fire from the archers in the back. Still some rear lines of men trying to hold firm. They did win out on this flank. Now they're going to be trying to hold back. You can see, look at those flurries of arrows just killing everything here. So they're going to try and form a second fighting line. You can see their pikemen holding back this entire force, which means it's important for me to break through. The center here has completely, you know, redeployed to the flank, where now they've been formed up to face me. I have my heavy trolls engaged in the rear of this force. Let's take a look at how my flanking engagement went. Looks like I'm pushing through the realms of men here. There are clusters of infantry still alive. I've basically killed those guys, and now I'm continuing to push to the center. My infantry is now kind of engaged with his archers. They are still continuing to fire point blank into me, but now I have my crucial guys, my heavy trolls, in and amongst the archers. Pikemen have been brought back to try and do something, but look at those, all those trolls in here. And some of these archers, even though they're being shot from the back, are going to do everything. Alex has, you know, very astutely identified the problem here, which is having all of these heavy armored trolls in his ranks. So he's trying to force me back. These Knights of Anuminas are cleaning up my guys. So once I stray too far, he's going to be cleaning that up with these heavy cav. But that's okay. It's all just about swarming here. And I think I've basically got most of his fighting line tied down. Now that I've broken this unit here, I'm going to go ahead and crash in on the rest of his guys. So I'm slowly consuming his forces bit by bit. And I still have some guys pushing the far flank. Once again, led by my general.
They have lost half their men.
Looks like we're going to try and push through and try and relieve a little bit of Lionheart's forces, which have been fighting against pikemen. We're not going to get, you know, through this anytime soon. More ranks of pikemen coming to commit and stand off against this. And the rest of it, yep, looks like we have kind of our guys against the enemy in a solid front. And the best way to break this is to commit something in the rear, which is exactly where I was hoping to march these orc bands. Although he does have some heavy infantry pushed to the back of the catapult, so he could presumably detach those guys and hit the back of these pikes. Over in the front, these engagements are going pretty well for the realm of men. But a big problem for them is these crossbowmen that have been going kind of uncontested here. They're not getting the best shots because they're firing into the rear of their own men, but they could easily you know, shoot anything else. Even if this engagement goes poorly, all he has to do is disengage, spread his crossbowmen out, and fire into that. It looks like he's going to be kind of firing indiscriminately into this mass of men, kind of chewing into the flanks. So that's going to go decently, I guess. Pikemen here to you know, force these. Man, this is awesome. This is why this mod is so cool. Pikes against pikes. So yeah, this fight a little bit more, you know, has slowed down a bit more. And he's maybe even holding his own. This cavalry here starting to turn the tide a bit on my end as well. These pikemen just proving their worth when they can't be attacked from the back. So in some places the pikes are winning them today. While I'm pouring in more and more numbers, a lot of my guys are now starting to, you know, try and pull back and swarm around. I've lost tons and tons of men. But as long as I still have my heavy hitting trolls here, I can shatter the morale of these men. And I have some of my own spears to help pin these guys down. And the slaughter endures. But this fight has been brought down to almost nothing. Just a couple cluster of units here and there. My Orc Raiders are going to continue to try and chase away some of his heavy archers who pulled back just to try and suppress me unharassed. I'm going to be charging them, but my guys are tired, so it's going to take a while. And I still have this almost full troll unit cleaning up some of these guys. Perhaps not the best idea. They should probably be engaged in the main combat. And I have one of these guys kind of just chilling. I didn't want to lose this unit. I wanted to save him perhaps till the end. So he's just kind of here waiting out away from the enemy fire. I have to save some of my heavy hitting troops from the combat. Pikes trying to push out of this bottleneck. It's like they're going to land and escape, but I'm going to be in close pursuit. Checking in on all of these areas here. Have my Black Numenorians down to 7 men, have cleaned up this cluster. So yeah, slowly cannibalizing these guys. The pikemen here did slaughter everything from the front, but now they have to turn about and face my guys attacking from the rear. There is a pesky archer unit. Oh, looks like we actually lost. I believe that's our commander over on that side. But like I was trying to show you, there are some pesky archers that have now pulled themselves away from battle. And I don't really see them. They're kind of so spread out and so far away that I didn't think it was worth attacking them. But Rambler's going to get a lot of nice kills into the rear of my men. When they're tired and exhausted, this is the best time to start to recuperate, you know, even the odds. These knights being extremely effective, now going to be using proper hammer and anvils tactics. They probably should have been doing this earlier against our forces, but for the most part we didn't want to commit to the pike line, so they couldn't have done that. But yeah, I probably would have relied on more heavy cavalry from their end. But yeah, they're kind of turning the tide here. Somewhat. Still grinding ourselves to a nub. On this front, the pike line has won, and they're, like I said, I mean, they beat the enemy general. They have troops committed to the enemy Uruk-hai crossbowmen. And it's going to come down to these last couple little engagements. You saw there, men fighting to the end, but no, actually they break. So I would say this blob is going to go in favor of Isengard, and yeah, definitely now that these crossbowmen pulled out their crude swords, they're going to be finishing up this surrounding move and slaughtering these guys. So yeah, this is going to be the end for Warrior of Sparta here. And Berserkers, definitely having these guys still alive is super important. As well as having, you know, still healthy numbers of crossbowmen. But man, look at where the deaths came down here. Solid engagement up through the front. Incredible. The final ranks of men trying to hold strong. This is so freaking epic, guys. I can't believe it. But a couple of fresh cav to help surround and hit this blob would work wonders, which is why I'm wondering where that other cavalry went. Okay, looks like it's over here. Yep, and this is effectively breaking my guys, but I wonder if it's even worth, you know, committing this cavalry over here to clean up little clusters of my guys. I would probably try and recommit to saving this fight, but then again, they might get picked off by these crossbowmen. So it's a tough spot to be in for sure. And I really appreciate the guys reaching out to me for this battle. This was something that's a little hard to pull off when they're in the UK and we're in the US. Rambler is now not in the States, but in the same time zone as me, so it's a bit easier. But these kind of cross the pond type of battles are hard to put together. So I really thank the guys for making this happen. It was truly epic for sure. Take a look at the balance of power. Yeah, we've killed 86% of the enemy. Our guys are, you know, they're down to 21% left. So I think we have this in the bag. This unit here fighting to the death, but their doom is pretty much ensured. So Lionheart comes out of this ahead with a decent amount of his guys left. Myself, I think in the final little moments of this, I basically, yeah, it came out to a standoff with his guys still remaining here. One of these knights and some pikemen remaining for him, whereas I have some guard spearmen, orc raiders, and still some of these trolls. Actually, a mix of trolls here, normal trolls and the Uruk-hai. So I think we're kind of pretty even, although his pikes will be a nuisance. I do still have some cav, so he may have me. I think if his cav can knock out my infantry here, and then his pikes can just kind of box up, then that'll do as much damage as it can to the trolls. But then again, trolls are notoriously hard to take down. This guy's so ominous. And there are actually a couple more guys kind of in the rear here facing off against each other. So some of the archers that I said kind of took off from the main battle lines are now kind of sprinkled around everywhere, and we've been forced. So these are some of my guys trying to chase down these archers in the corner. Wow, that's so cool. My guy's just spearing them on the ground. But I am exhausted, whereas they are kind of just tired. And they do have some swordsmen in here. So I believe most of these engagements I will win, but some of them actually against the units I believe are going to have to end up chasing them down to the last man. Let's come back to the main battle lines here. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Oh my goodness, this is absurd. Get a nice little pan of this. But yep, armies of Isengard are going to be rallying. Couple cavalry left, somehow killing our guys, running them down. But we're going to, not really care about this. And Lionheart is pulling back to help support me. Do the push on the final groups of men, swarming around here. And what do we have out in the open? Yeah, it looks like I said, they the best thing to do is to charge that cav and knock out my infantry, which it seems like that's exactly where they're going. Yep, they've been able to ride down my men. My more precious units, I kind of pulled them back. I didn't want to lose them. And so they're kind of going to be seeking shelter with the incoming Uruk-hai. The main pike wall, the last couple guys pulling down from the hill, resigned to their fate. Yeah, here you go. You can see them with the dust billowing up and all that. They can't really see what's happening. They can see the corpses of their allies. They can see some of the arrows coming. And at this point of a battle where, there's almost no one left and you're wondering what's happening, well, if you start to receive arrow fire, that's kind of an indication that the army that was previously protecting that flank, if you're getting arrow fire from there, not a good sign. So here they are moving forward, trying to get, gauge what they're going to face. And over in the distance, this is exactly what they're going to face. Oh. A little aside there, an engagement with the cavalry. But yeah, this is what they're facing. Crossbowmen shooting at them. Infantry charging forward. And that little engagement we saw was his cav charging into mine. Now he did slaughter my general, unfortunately, and so my trolls are going to be very angry about that. They're going to charge straight into his men. It is going to catch, my trolls against his pikes. So like I said, my guys are pretty brutal. I pulled some of them through to try and chase down his knights. And these guys are going to go after our crossbowmen. So definitely not going down without a fight here. But our men are going to start swarming here. Ooh, and here come the berserkers. Right on the flank of this pike line. And I can't even find it anymore. It went down, not with a bang, but with a whimper. That was just a steamroll of that little unit there. Where's the last one? Over here. So, one by one, these units, you can see the Uruk-hai there almost taunting them, charging straight into pikes. Just brutal. My trolls still alive, straight to the end. Gonna be coming for just a devastating hammer and anvil here. You can see them winding up. And they are almost gonna come here, tap the men on the back, and bonk them on the head. Let's just start kicking them over. Wondering of the fate of that cavalry. Yep, cavalry here. These guys they must be super expensive because they've been alive this whole game and have been doing tremendous damage to our guys. Even against, look at that troll hit. You'd imagine that would kill a cavalryman, but no, they're standing strong in the midst of all these pikes. Just such good troops. There we go. Broke that guy as my trolls eagerly chasing them down. Gonna grab a couple of them to munch on, save them perhaps for a joyous meal tonight, eating some men. Let's go ahead and see if we can't watch some of this cavalry. Still in the fight, and that is so scary, just one giant troll. And there you go, there we have it. This is the moment I was waiting for, where we finally end up killing the general. These guys are wavering, very tired, down to just 3 of them, and I think they're gonna fight to the last man. gonna pull out. My guy is not having it. He's super angry. So there you go. Yep, they're broken. So this is all that is left of a huge fight that took place. Now there are a couple more men left in this battle. I believe, like I said, it's going to be units at the fringes. So let's see, where are they? This unit up here. Still these archers up at the top. I came in with my general because I figured he already lost his general unit, so I committed him into this fight just to hold them down, and then my trolls are going to come down against these guys and finish them off pretty handily. So I still have one of my knights still alive. Chase that off the field. Our guys are going to reform and pull back, and oh no! Trolls apparently aren't affected by stakes, but I lost my last cavalry guy against these stakes here. So here comes the remaining forces, and they're now going to be scouring the lands looking for any men left. Tireless in their pursuit, it seems like. And who are they going after? Some last archers back here. Warrior of Sparta, fighting still strong. But like I said, thanks so much for the guys for hosting this. I had a great time. It's the first time I've really played with all of them at the same time. Don't think I've ever played with Lionheart before, so it was cool to see them join us in the multiplayer realm of things. But yeah, look at the stats here. Lionheart with over 3,000 men, myself with just about 3,000. So yeah, we outnumbered them by about 1,000 total. Enemies killed, both of us doing pretty evenly. Oh my god, they only differ by 5, but Rambler and Warrior of Sparta are definitely putting up a fight. They killed more men than us, staying strong. So an awesome fight. Let's take a look at some of these stats. Casualties inflicted. Orc Maulers actually doing pretty well. A lot of my fodder units doing well. Uruks. Why does it say Uruks? Oh, I guess it's mixing both of our ally units. The Mountain Trolls, 109, 132, 151, 254. So yeah, those guys certainly paying for themselves. The Ballista here that we didn't quite get the show didn't end up doing much, so it didn't really matter at all. But anyways, this is an epic battle, stuff that I hope to bring you more of. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.